from Unique in the Creek, and today I'm going to put together a harvest blessing swag. We are going to make this swag on 2 of the Unique in the Creek rectangle boards. We're going to be using this awesome 10-inch square sign, perfect for Thanksgiving. We also are going to be using this beautiful poly jute mesh, and it's got an extra large wide foil border of orange and moss green in it. It is stunning. We are also going to be using these 2 ribbons. It's a royal burlap pumpkin ribbon and moss green and gold 1.5-inch Swiss dot ribbon. We are going to be using this throughout the swag. Adding some of these Eva foam leaves into, we're going to be putting it within, going through the swag, and I'll show you what we're going to do with these. We're going to be using pipe cleaners, and we also are going to be using this awesome flex ribbon, and I'm going to show you guys how you can use this flex ribbon. And then we got this gorgeous 7 1/8-inch, just a solid green fern colored green ribbon. We are just going to make a nice loopy bow with this ribbon. Now you can incorporate some of this within your swag. I'm just going to keep it for the end for just our bow. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put together our rectangle board. I'm going to be using these 40-pound zip ties. They're quite long. They're 10 inches long, but they're really going to be nice and secure to zip tie. You can use that 18-pound zip ties as well, but I just feel this sign's kind of heavy as it's wood, so I feel more comfortable using the 40-pound zip ties for putting these together, the boards. So where you can connect your boards however long you want to make your swag. You can just connect them A to A if you want, and there's your sign. So it's going to be, if you do A to A, this swag is going to be very large, okay? So it's up to you how big you want it. I'm going to just bring it down just a little bit. So I'm going to be connecting one of the boards. You'll see letters A, B, C. I'm going to do A to, I'm going to connect it to B on the other rectangle, and then the B here on this one is going to be connected to the A. So what I'm going to do is just line those 2 up, take one of my large zip tie and go through the one corner here, and then this side, and then I'm going to connect again over here. So we're going to be putting 4 large zip ties to connect our boards together. This will give it lots of stability. Okay, so once they're in there, I can tighten them all up and pop the head right into the hole here. Okay, then I'm going to take some scissors or some wire nippers and just cut these off. If you're going to use scissors, just don't use your good ribbon scissors. And there we go. We got a nice firm base, and our sign is going to go right in the middle. Now what I've done is I've actually marked where my sign is ending and starting. So the bottom is right here, the top is right here. So the bottom, it's row E, it works out to be, and the top is row E. That is where the sign, the top and the bottom are going to start. So that gives me a really good idea of where I'm going to put my cable mounts on the back of my sign here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the jute string here. And we're going to put our cable mounts on. So I'm going to cut off the string, and I also like to take the stickers off, especially if you're selling this. All right, and then we're going to take two cable mounts. Okay, now the adhesive is pretty good on these larger cable mounts. They are made from 3M. However, I still like to use hot glue as well with them. So what you're going to do is put your zip tie through the slots like that. Or not your zip tie, your pipe cleaner, sorry. And like that. And I have my hot glue plugged in. Like I said, you can use just the adhesive on the back of these if you don't have a hot glue gun. Okay. I'm just going to put this near the top middle. Okay, and press down really good. And that will set. By the time we're finished our swag, it will be all set. Or you can actually add some hot glue or some E6000 or automotive tape, whatever you like to use on your signs. And when you're using hot glue, don't press down with your fingers because the excess hot glue is going to come out the sides and everything. Okay, so once you've done that, that can be put to the side, and we won't be using the sign till the very end of the tutorial. My pipe cleaners, I actually might do it now. So I am going to be putting my pipe cleaners row J, there's a J here, to row I, okay, and just giving it a twist, and then I'm going to put the next one from row H on the outside to row G, and then from row F to E. So there's 3 on this side. We're going to do the same 3 on this side. Okay, so there's our side ones, and then we're going to go down the middle. So I'm going to put a pipe cleaner from here to here on row J, which is the first row at the top here, or the bottom. We're going to repeat exactly what we're doing up here. We're going to repeat down here as well. Okay, so there's, and then we're going to go skip row I, go to row H, and then I'm going to skip 2 because I'm going to go row E. I'm going to put that middle one on row E. Now our sign goes right above here, so why I'm using E is so that some of the mesh and ribbons come out from behind the sign. Okay? So that is giving us 9 pipe cleaners at one side, and we're going to do the exact same at the bottom. So J to I. So this is what your swag's going to look like. So you can see it a little bit easier on the back. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down the center, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again, that's connecting A and B on the rectangle board. This is going to be a big swag, and we have lots of goodies to add to this swag. So we don't need a lot of mesh. So what I'm going to do is we're only going to use half this roll because this is stunning mesh, and you can definitely use the other half in another project, whether it be ruffles or curls or something. I just don't want to use too much mesh that it's kind of wasted. You're not going to see a lot of it. We will see the foil coming from the edge, but as for the bulk and everything, we don't need a lot of it. So we need 18 pieces of mesh. So we are going to cut 18 pieces of mesh at 10 inches. Okay, so I have my mat and my rotary cutter, and I can cut 3 pieces. So you're going to line up your mesh. You can put something heavy. Make sure the bottom seam of your mesh is running along one of your lines here, so it's all squared up. And then I'm going to cut it at the 30, the 20, and the 10. Okay. Again, we're only going to be using half the roll of this mesh, which you're going to be amazed how big it's going to be, even though we only used half a roll. Okay, so you need 18 pieces at 10 inches of mesh. So I am just going to, you're going to take your 10-inch piece, and I think I'm just going to make a simple ruffle. Okay, you can do a kerfuffle, but we only have a 10-inch piece, so I think by just folding the end in just a bit, about an inch, inch and a half, okay, you can, if you have a clothespin, put that clip on, bring the other side in, and by bringing these in, we're just keeping the ruffle nice and neat, so in case it, frays at the end here, you're not going to see it, okay? And then you're just going to pinch and pleat right up the middle to the end of your mesh, and you have this kind of ruffle. I like to put it downwards. That way the edges that we cut are facing down and you're not going to see it. All right, and then you're going to take the middle where you've pinched, don't let go. Okay, you're going to put it right in the center of your pipe cleaner and bring that pipe cleaner around. Now I like to kind of push down in the center, all right, and give it a really good pull and just a half a twist. Okay, we want our outside pieces of mesh facing outwards like that, and the middle ones will be facing that way, and then when we get to the bottom, the middle ones will be facing downwards. Let's do the next one. Again, you want it, I kind of have it facing outwards. Get your pipe cleaner, push down in the center, and pull and give it a half twist. Okay, just a half, that's all it needs. If you don't want to fool around by folding in your edges and everything, you can just simply just go right up the center, just like that. Take your middle, put it right on top. Bring your 2 pipe cleaner ends, again pressing down in the middle, push down, half twist. Okay, so there's one side. We'll do the other side. And you want to make sure your pipe cleaner is pretty taut in between the holes, and your pipe cleaner is running perpendicular like that. So when you go to put your ruffle in, I actually like mine a little bit folded in. It over, push down, pull, half twist. Okay, now we're going to do the center. Same fold. I'm going to take the center and my two ends of my pipe cleaner are in the middle here, so my mesh is going upwards. Push down in the center and give it, this one you can give a couple twists because I won't be putting like any greenery or anything in there. Okay, half twist, and then we're going to do the center here. The last one on the center here. And then we're going to do the exact same for the bottom part or top part. I guess it doesn't really matter until you put your sign on. Alrighty, so there's the top of our base. And then we're going to do the exact same thing down at the bottom. With only half a roll of mesh used. So I'm just kind of finding all my pipe cleaners because we're going to add ribbon. We're going to add flex tubing, or flex ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to use that. And we're going to add a few greenery. Well, they're not really greenery. They're brownery. 1/8 ribbon tails. So I need 18 of the fern green and gold ribbon tails. And I want 18 of these 2.5-inch pumpkin ribbon tails. Okay? So whether you have a measure buddy, or you're just using a ruler, or you're using a cutting mat, you need to measure 18 pieces of ribbon at 14 inches long. Okay? 14. Or you can use your cutting mat, or you can use your measure buddy, pull number 1 all the way out. And 1, 2, 3. I think I only need 3 more. So you need a total of 18 of each of these ribbons, each of these 2 ribbons at 14 inches long. Okay, and once you got your 18 pieces cut, we are then going to dovetail each end. So I have 3 pieces here. I'm going to make sure that the ends are butt up against each other. Fold this lengthwise, and from the cut edge to the outside corner, I'm going to cut. And it's going to give me that nice V shape into my ribbon. I'm going to do it on the other side. Okay. And the same thing with your 2.5-inch. So you're going to do 18 of these. And then once they're cut, we're going to make a little packet. So you take your 2.5-inch, fold it in half so you know where the half is. Same with the 1.5-inch. And we're going to insert the 1.5-inch into the 2.5-inch so that we have a bunch of 18 of these ribbon packets. And I'm not going to put flex ribbon in every one. I'm just going to use for now, and I might add some later, 5 of these into each side. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of this per pipe cleaner for 5 of them, which I need 10 pieces of this, and I'm going to cut it at 18 inches. So what you can do is you can use your ruler and cut individual pieces. You need 10 of them at 18 inches. Or you can pull out your measure buddy to 18. So pull out all the number 1 all the way out, and then the number 2 all the way to 18. And we can just wrap. So there's 1. Now you don't want to pull this because it does have a little bit of elasticity to it. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 6 for now. Slide it off. Okay, and then I'm going to just cut the ends. Now they don't have to be perfect length because we're going to be wrapping them in loops. Okay, so I got my ribbon packets. I got my flex ribbon cut. Now I'm going to take this bush of these Eva flowers or leaves, and I'm going to pull it off the stems. Okay, it comes in quite a large bush. All right, and we're going to have individual stems. Now, they're a little longer than I would like. So, meaning from here to the top. It's a bit long. I think it's just a little bit long. To fix that, what you can do is you can hold the bottom of the stem, and you can, because this is just paper wrapped around, and grab that bottom one, and you can pull it and push it, the others, and push them all up like that, and then we're making it as long as you want. So that, let's see, that looks good to me. So you can see from here that there's plastic that you see there. That's because I pushed them up. So they now are, well, originally they're from the top leaf to the bottom, they're about 8 inches. I pushed it so that mine is about 5.5 inches. And then we can move it down. And then once you have it pushed up, we can cut some of this excess off because we're going to put that right into the pipe cleaner. Okay, now I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stems. 12 stems on this. So we have 9 pipe cleaners on one side, 9 on the other. I think I'm going to do 1, 2, is that 6, 7, 8. How many did I say? So we need 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So probably, I think I'm going to do 1 piece here, skip that third one, or the middle one, 1 piece here, 1 in the middle, 1 here, skip the middle, and 1 here. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's push this up. Now these are foam. So what you can do, actually we can do this all in one swoop. Get your ribbon packet. Let's open it up. Okay. It's all lined up. We're going to pinch your ribbons right in the middle and flip it. Just like that. So that's ready. Our foam little piece is ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plastic part, open, put the plastic into the pipe cleaner. So it's just kind of laying on top of the pipe cleaner, that plastic piece. Now what you can do if you do have a glue gun, it's a good idea just to put a dab of glue right on top of that, where you put that plastic on the pipe cleaner. Then take your ribbons and put that on top, and then come around just like that. Oh, we have to add in our flex ribbon. And then we're going to add in some flex tubing. What you're going to do is take this piece of flex ribbon, fold it in half. It's an 18-inch piece. So you have two ends, the two cut ends down here and a folded end up here. Then you're going to take another piece, fold it in half, have the two ends at the same end as this rounded piece, and then your other rounded piece at the other end where the two tails are. You can put that down on the table and just kind of pinch it in the middle. So you're making like a little bow. And then we're going to put that right on top of our ribbons. Push down hard or tightly down there, and we're going to give that a good twist. Okay, now you can cut off the excess pipe cleaner and push it down into your design, and then we're going to pull all these to the side just like that. Okay, now we'll fix all this once we get everything in. So we're going to go to the next one. Now the next one, I decided I'm not going to be putting any of this brown or terracotta foliage in there. I'm just going to use a ribbon tail and two of my flex. So we're going to open this up. Pinch your ribbons in the middle. Okay, there's three along the side here. This is the middle one. Push down. Okay, you got your two pipe cleaners that are going to go around it. Just leave that there. You're going to grab your flex ribbon again. Fold them in half. One loop is going one way. The other loop is going the other way, and it's just kind of overlapping just a little bit. Pinch it in the middle, like that. And then we're going to put it right on top of our ribbon tails. And then, again, come around tight. Give it a couple twists. You can just put the remaining pipe cleaner inside like that if you don't want to cut it. Okay, and we want to make sure all of these are coming towards the outside. I am going to cut these a little bit and then tuck that down. Okay, now we're on the corner one right here. So again, I'm going to get a piece of my terracotta leaf, cut it down, open my pipe cleaner here. Well, not open it, but so I can put my ribbon tails and everything in. Put the end of the plastic right on top. Again, I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. You don't have to. You can just pipe cleaner it in. Or you can even add it after the fact. Jackie adds her greens and stuff afterwards by just gluing. I like to actually secure it in. So then I'm going to take my ribbon. Flip it. Put that on top. Get my loops. And there's a lot of this tubing. If you want it even more, you can make your loops longer. You can add 3 pieces or 4 pieces, however you want. And I'm going to put that right on top, and then now I'm going to come around, push everything kind of down, and give it quite a few twists. Cut my pipe cleaner and push that down. And then again, make sure everything is going towards the outside. And we'll fix all our ribbons and all that stuff after we get everything placed in. Okay, we got the center here. up the center. So the first one, that's going to be kind of located under the sign. So I'm just going to put just a set of ribbon tails here, because we are going to be putting a bow around the middle here. So that's the first. Just kind of tuck this in. All right, so the next one, how many did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one more. I'm going to put the 6th one of these right in the middle here, the middle center. Now I'm not going to put any flex. Like I said, we're going to be putting a bow in the center here, probably right about there. So I'll put some flex ribbon in, maybe into the bow. All right, so that is the top done. And we are going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. And we'll fix all this once we get everything together. So this is what we got so far. We will be separating all of this once we put our sign and everything on. So it looks, you can see it, it's got a very full appearance so far, but we used very little materials. So I'm going to do the exact same I did up top here. We're going to do down here. Look how full and beautiful this is. I am not still, I really want to fix all the ribbon tails and everything right now, but I'm not going to, because we still have to put the sign on. We're going to add a couple bows onto the top and bottom, even though I don't even know if it's going to need it. We'll see. Right now we have our swag at 36 inches long. So it's, like I said, even though we connected it to A and B, it makes quite a large swag. Okay, so both ends are the exact same at the moment. So it doesn't really matter which side you put your sign on. But where we're going to put our sign is we're going to go this very last, where this pipe cleaner is. We're going to go over top of that pipe cleaner with the top of our sign, and then this pipe cleaner down here, that's going to be the bottom. So these are the 2 holes where our sign is going to go. So what we want to do is we want to, before we put our sign on, make sure everything is kind of out of the way. Okay, so you're going to leave this blank spot. We're going to take my sign, take each end of your pipe cleaner, and you're going to go right over top where these 2 holes are. So you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing, but it's quite easy. There's one. There's the second. Now I'm just going to give it a light twist on the back so it's not tight, so I can put on the bottom. Again, same holes. Make sure nothing is going to be caught. Now things will be coming out from the bottom and top of the sign, but we don't want to pipe cleaner anything, get anything caught as we do the pipe cleaner for the sign. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to have that on top like that. So I'm going to flip it over. You'll be able to see. I'm just going to pull those pipe cleaners down just a bit. There we go. Flip it over so you can see right there, and right there is where I put my sign. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pull it till I feel some resistance and give it a twist. Same with the top. Pull till I feel some resistance a bit and give it a twist. Now we have a top and a bottom. Now this is the top and that is the bottom. So we can have our sign not upside down. So what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of, I don't want the sign squishing all that's underneath the corner here. So I'm going to I'll leave the mesh under, but I want to bring up some of the ribbons that we have here and just kind of have them coming out kind of a little bit of just the corner of the sign. Make sure our terracotta, bring out some of our tubing so you can separate these. Okay, I'm going to probably put a loopy bow with that 7/8 inch right about here. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other corner. Let's bring it out some from under here. There we go. Pull that. So it's kind of like the sign is worked into the swag. So it's kind of not just stark. It's things are kind of over top of it. And then that terracotta is coming out to the bottom there. At the top, or I mean the top here. And then I'm going to do the same here. Bring that out. Separate that. We can bring some of this tubing. We don't need to bring the mesh from under there. It's the center ribbons right here. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to just go around and just kind of straighten and pull out these ribbons. You want to go around and you can separate the tails of these loops. There's a lot of ribbon in here. You could probably cut back, but we didn't use a lot. It just looks like we did. Separate, bring those, make sure you get those, your terracotta up in here so it's seen. You can separate your ribbons. again, make sure you don't want your leaves, your terracotta leaves stuck underneath your ribbons. We want to see all that. Separate that. You can pull it and put it wherever you would like. Okay, I think this top is done. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom there. Pull out some of these. Quite full. With a full swag like this, you definitely have to take the time to, you know, make sure your ribbon tails are going the right way and are exposed, that you can see them, your greenery or whatever, your foliage. Love this flex ribbon stuff. And pull that out. Probably could have just used one piece, but I like all the foil loops that you do see with this flex tubing or flex ribbon, whatever it's called. Alrighty. Probably have to fix my ribbon tails again, but for now, I think we're good. We're just going to make, I think I'm going to put it just a, that's where I got just a simple, the green, simple bow we can put. However, I'm not even sure if we need a bow. Let's see, let's hold it up. It's quite large. I don't think you'll be able to see the whole thing, but let's go from the top all the way to the bottom. But that'd be nice. A small one, maybe right here, so some of the loops come down, just with the green. Okay, I'm going to put a zip tie or a pipe cleaner, whatever you have. You're going to make a hanger. After I just did all that, make sure you, when you flip it over, that you know which one is the top. So we're going to put a pipe, I'm just going to put a zip tie through these two holes here. And we're making a hanger. Or you can use one of your pipe cleaners. Oops, got it in backwards. There we go. I'm going to cut this sign pipe cleaner off. Push that back down. Keep everything nice and neat. All right, that's all we need to do on the back. Unless you're giving this as a gift, you might want to write something on the back of on the board, or put a sticker if you're selling it. Okay, so there we go. Holy man, this is beautiful. We have lots and lots of stuff, supplies still left over, which is fabulous. I like this. Let's see. There we go. I like how these are kind of hanging down there. Let's kind of bring the loops up here. There. Make sure the ribbons down by the sign. Perfect. Okay, let's make just a small little loopy bow with this 7/8 inch. You can do one on the top and one on the bottom, or just one on the top, or even just one on the bottom coming down. It's totally up to you. I'm going to make the tail of this loopy bow quite long, so it kind of, kind of hangs down and I can twirl it. So I am going to make the tail. So this bow maker is 14 inches. I'm going to make my tail 28 inches, okay? Because I do know I have a lot of ribbon. We got the whole roll here. Okay, loosen that up. Come back over. I did a half twist with our long tail here. So this is going to be the bottom bow. I am going to do just about a 5-inch loop. I don't want it big and all over, like right across the sign. I just want it small and loopy. So I'm just going to do 5-inch. So you come down, give it a half twist. Now this is a royal burlap, so you really don't have to twist it. Let's see. We're all so used to twisting the ribbons, but both sides of this ribbon are exactly the same. Do 3 loops, but the long tails. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I need a pipe cleaner. Get a bit of twist. And this is the long one. I'm going to kind of separate here. And I'm going to put this bow, I'll show you, I'll flip it over. I'm going to go through the mesh. You can see the holes through the mesh. And where I'm going with this bow, so there is the sign. I'm just going with the bow. It looks like 1 down, 2 down. See if I can get one more higher up. I can. There we go. It's much easier to see if you lift your board off the table. If your pipe cleaner stops bending. Stop bending. flip this over. There is our sign and our last piece of ribbon tail, and then I went one row below with that bow. Okay, so I'm just going to have one. I just did a 3-looped bow. Separate these. Open one. I want one kind of going over the sign, one at the bottom, one in the center. One loop kind of going the sign, center. You can angle your tail or you can dovetail it. I'm going to roll this right up. And as you can see, I'm going towards the inner as I'm rolling. And then this side, I'll be going towards the inner as well. I already side swiped this. So you can see the edge of your ribbon. It's going this way as I roll in. Okay, and then you take your corner and just kind of pull that down, and then we'll do the other one. There we go. We got a nice loopy bow to add just a little bit of that oomph to our swag here. Like I said, I'm going to be fixing ribbon tails forever, but I'm just kidding. So that is the bottom. Isn't that pretty? And then the top, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to make big long tails. I'm just going to make a few short tails. So it's going to be just a little bit of a different bow, still with 5-inch loops though. So let's start with a 5-inch tail, just like, no, let's do 6. It's easier to cut back than to add. So we'll start with just a tail. Come over, we're going to have a loop, 5-inch loop, another 5-inch loop, another 5-inch loop. I'm going to do 3 5-inch loops. Okay, and then the tail, 6. Again, grab another pipe cleaner. Around the center. Now you can add more, but you can, as you can see, this swag is pretty full. Twist. I'm just going to side these. Again, you can dovetail it if you want. And this one is going to go kind of where that one went, just above in here. So one row above that last tail. Now you can, I kind of like to go through the mesh. It just helps keep the bow from sinking in. So there's one. And I know you guys can't see the holes, but when you're making it, you can. You can see through the mesh. It's just getting your pipe cleaner to stop bending on you. Through the mesh, through the hole. All right. Put this coming straight down until I can feel the, there it is. flip it over. See, it's one above where we put that last ribbon tails and the side, top of the sign. Again, giving it a good twist in the back. Fix these. And then we'll open up these loops. There's one tail. I'm going to have the one tail coming kind of over the sign. Oh, that one will go here. The bottom tail I'll have going over the sign. Okay, and then you're going to separate those 3 loops. And we are done. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I loved this. Now, if you feel it's too much ribbon, what you can do is, you know, do the first one with, you know, maybe the 2.5, the second one with 2.5 and 1.5, then 2.5. But you know, we didn't use a ton of ribbon, and look how full it actually looks. It looks very, very expensive, especially with all this gold, this brown gold flex ribbon stuff. I'm actually in love with this stuff. All right, guys, that is all we got. That's a beautiful Thanksgiving swag. Again, you can make it any way you want. You don't have to add as much as I did or whatever, but I'm telling you, look how beautiful this is. I think it just turned out splendidly. And there's, oh, let's clean it up again. Those are from the bows. And, you know, you can use another rectangle. We have enough supplies here that you could make a small centerpiece that matches this, because we have lots of tubing. We still have lots of ribbon left. Like a half a roll of the 2.5, half a roll of the 1.5. Lots of the flex and everything. Have another... Get another rectangle, and if you have any of these pumpkins, I have a few. I just got these from the dollar store. Aren't they cute? Just velvet pumpkins. You can literally make a centerpiece that matches your swag and have it flat like this. Maybe just use one rectangle, and then you can, you know, place your pumpkins right in the center and have a matching centerpiece to your swag. Pretty cool, eh? All right, thanks for joining me for another Unique and Create tutorial. I can't wait to see what you guys make. Bye.